Meet DJ Giddens, the power back who isn't really a power back. The first thing you notice when you watch Giddens' film is how elusive he is. It seems like when he's in the open field, it's impossible for defenders to actually wrap their arms around him. But he's winning with agility and lateral movement, which is strange when you look at him. This is someone who looks like they should be powerful all over and break tackles by running through defenders, but that is not his game. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing, but let's take a little bit of a deep dive into one of the more underrated backs in this class. One of the best things about watching Giddens is definitely his vision and his patience. This is someone who is absolutely willing to let blocks set up in front of them and then pick the right hole. But I would say in terms of his vision, I think it's very rare that he doesn't choose the right hole. This is someone who is willing to just wait and see the right hole, then hit it as hard as possible. Although sometimes that initial burst can be a little bit of a problem. However, one of the best qualities from him is the elusiveness in tight spaces, which, as I said at the beginning of the video, is way more than you'd expect from a back of this size. DJ Giddens looks like he should be a power back, but he's really not. He's lateral, he's shifty, and he has good burst. So it's definitely something that I would be impressed with by him, even if it's not really what I was anticipating being able to see from him. But just that football IQ, that vision, that patience, and then that shiftiness to be able to weave your way round defenders is something I was incredibly impressed by on his film. He definitely has good prototypical size, although in terms of the strength, he does sometimes lack in terms of running with power, but we'll come on to that a little bit later. I also think he's a good tackle breaker, but again, this comes from elusiveness rather than power, which is really interesting given what I was expecting when I saw him, when I saw his measurables. The other thing about him is that he has only had one fumble in 428 carries, which is per PFF. That is elite ball security and something which is definitely going to help get your coaches on your side if they know they can trust you with the football. However, there are definitely some flaws to his game. One of the things that I noticed is that he is very much a long strider. Even though he's not actually the quickest back, he does have a tendency to open up his gait, which means that when he's up to full speed, he's going to find it very difficult to then cut quickly. It's why Giddens' style often involves kind of evading defenders and weaving round them, but not really getting up to full speed to do it then. So when the athleticism advantage is going to be lessened when you get to the NFL, I think there's a chance that defenders might be able to get their hands on him much more easily. I think we just don't really see him get up to top speed. The athleticism is lacking a little bit, but I think the fact that when he does get up to top speed, he can't really change direction is going to be a problem when he hits the NFL. I also think he shows a consistent inability to bring in passes outside of his frame. He is a perfectly fine pass catcher. I think someone that doesn't really bring too much of a plus to the receiving game, but not really too much of a negative. But if a pass is outside of his frame, if it's slightly under or overthrown, he just doesn't really know how to bring it in. He's very much a body catcher, which is a shame to see and something we don't really like to see, but he just can't extend and pluck a ball out of the air. And time again, this is something that I saw from him. I also think he runs way too uptight, and especially when he's going into contact. This just means that defenders can gain leverage on him if they go low, but also mean that he's not really able to fall forward for extra yards because he's just creating too big of a tackle point. And this kind of summarizes a theme that I've been talking about for the whole video, really, which is I think he's less powerful than you'd think he would be for his size. And that's especially in the red zone where I think he can struggle to actually lower the shoulder and go through a defender. I think he has a pretty unique running style, which is fine. And is definitely something different to a lot of the rest of this class. But I wanted to see him be able to mix that elusiveness and agility with some power and strength. And I just couldn't really see too many examples of him managing to do that on his film. I've gone with Kyron Williams as my playstyle comparison, and it was really hard to not go with Lev Bell for this, because obviously if we look at someone who is maybe not the best athlete, but just so agile and, patient running style. That's something that we associate with Le'Veon Bell. But I don't really like making playstyle comparisons that are that lofty, especially when it's players that I don't have ranked that high, although I do like Giddens. To me, the Kyren comparison comes from the fact that I don't think Kyren is a great athlete. In fact, the Combine showed us that he's not a great athlete, but he just has this ability to find space and to find the right rushing lane. He's not someone that breaks plays open for, 30, 40 yards. He's someone that will consistently get you 6 to 7. And maybe if a player's blocked very well or he can beat someone out in space, he'll be able to get you 15 to 20. But it's not going to be huge chunk plays, which I think is going to be the case with Giddens. I think it's a similar amount of vision and patience and those like intangibles. And then I think the lateral agility is pretty good. Kyren, again, does catch a fair amount of passes, but not a huge plus in the receiving game. So I think relatively similar there. Let me know down below if you have a different opinion or a comp for Giddens that you think is much stronger than the one that I've gone for. He is projected to go early day 3. I will be intrigued by Giddens because I think he lacks the athleticism or top end athleticism a lot of backs in this class. But he definitely has some positives to his game, which very few of the others around this range are going to bring. So I think he's currently projected to go midway through the 4th round. This would kind of make sense to me. Then in terms of rookie draft value, the 3rd round is probably going to be about right for Giddens. I think that's going to be where I have him ranked. It's a very deep running back class, and this is someone that I think can be a contributor, probably unlikely to earn themselves a full bell cow role because I think the struggles with power are probably going to be too much of an issue for him. But I think the uniqueness of his running style is something that's going to help him when he gets to the NFL because a team knows that they can trust him not to fumble and they can trust him to always pick the right hole, which is a really underrated skill at the running back position and one that will make your coaches fall in love with you. Let me know where you have Giddens ranked. Really interesting player, and I'm intrigued to know some other thoughts on it. And if you are down below in the comments letting me know that, you might as well like the video and subscribe as well. And you can check out all of the other rookie profiles available on my channel. We're at about 43, 44 now, so there's loads of content for you to watch. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.